All right. Good afternoon, everyone. All right. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. My name is Ashley Vandenmyracker. I am a specialist with Duval County Public Schools Family Engagement Department. I'm going to hand it over to Miss Elizabeth Blank.
Thank you, Ashley. Good afternoon, everyone. We want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us this afternoon. So on behalf of Academic Services in partnership with Parent Academy, we would like to thank you all and introduce ourselves. So my name is Elizabeth Blank. I am your supervisor for elementary mathematics.
My name is Madeline Twig. I am the supervisor for elementary science.
My name is Amy Bell. I am the ELA ESE academic specialist.
So you have your academic services team here with you, and we're going to go through the online programs available for your student in kindergarten through 5th grade. We're actually going to go off camera right now, but we'll still be talking. All right, so let's look at our agenda for this afternoon. We're going to begin by introducing the blended learning programs for your student that they'll have access to in all three of the content areas, which includes ELA, math, and science. We'll discuss how to access these programs at home, the intent and purpose of each one of our programs at each grade level, and then we'll end, as Ms. Ashley said, with an opportunity for you to ask any questions and for us to answer those for you. All right, we like to quickly go over some community agreements during our virtual session today. So if you're able to, let's please minimize any distractions so we can optimize our learning together. If you can keep your headphones on mute and cameras off, that'll optimize our bandwidth. We do have a chat feature that you can ask any questions in, and one of us will get to those if we at least by the end of the session. And also just please know this is a learning environment for all of us where it's safe not to know. So if you have any questions, we welcome your questions during this meeting. So here's our learning goals that we hope to achieve by the end of this session. Go ahead and take a moment. We'll let you read those. And with this session, we just hope that we are able to deliver information that helps extend the learning that happens in the K-5 classroom as you utilize these blended learning programs at home as well. So let's talk about how to access these blended learning programs at home. If your student has a DCPS issued laptop, they'll have a little folder on their desktop that says blended learning, and all of their blended learning platforms are accessible through that blended learning folder. They should be familiar with this because this is how they access these same websites and programs while they're at school. However, if you're utilizing your own personal device or laptop, this is how you're going to access through the main DCPS website. You're going to begin with go to duvalschools.org, which is our main web page. Up at the top, you'll see a tab that says Students and Families. You're going to click that Students and Families tab. And then once you're in Students and Families, you're going to scroll down and you'll see Technology as one of the headings. You're going to click the Blended Learning, and this will take you to all of our district blended learning programs that'll be listed on the page. You'll see a plethora of these because they start from kindergarten all the way to our secondary sites as well. At the end of our session, we'll go through each one of our blended learning platforms, and you'll see the icon to access for all of those. So in our district, we're going to go back one, I'm sorry, we went a little bit too fast. In our district, we are single sign-on, which means that your students will use their DCPS login and their password information to access each one of the blended learning programs. If your student does not know their login information, a lot of our primary students may need some support with this. Please reach out to your child's teacher and they can provide this information to you. All right, so before we get into each program, we're going to do a quick little overview of the programs your student has access to by each grade level. So in kindergarten, for reading, they have access to Waterford Reading Academy. In math, they also have access to Waterford, as well as McGraw-Hill's Redbird. In science, they have access to Waterford as well. as well as CPOMs. In grades 1 and 2, for reading, we have 2 programs, Amira and iReady. In math, we have iReady and Redbird. And in science, we have CPOMs. And then finally, for our intermediate students, grades 3 through 5, for reading, we have Amira, Freckle, and Lalilo. In math, we have Freckle and Redbird. And in science, we have Study Island. We have the new McGraw-Hill 5th grade online platform, as well as CPOMs. So now Amy's going to introduce us to Waterford.
Yes, we're going to look at Waterford for reading. Waterford is designed to meet the needs of our youngest learners by providing personalized instruction based on each child's individual learning pace and needs. Waterford encourages learners in explicit instruction. It encourages families with personalized support. It equips educators with a proven program. And most importantly, it addresses the five components of reading: phonemic awareness or phonological awareness, phonics, fluency, comprehension, and vocabulary. Students are placed in Waterford based on their responses during the Waterford Assessment of Core Skills, or the WACS, which we do 3 times a year, the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year. The initial assessment assesses letter recognition, letter sounds, initial sounds, blending, and vocabulary. If students perform above the expected level, the adaptive assessment will move on to more complex skills such as real words, sight words, and comprehension skills during that assessment. In the second and third assessment, progress monitoring assessments, it assesses vocabulary, real words, and sight words. Waterford is an adaptive program, so the skills adapt based on the student's level and adjust to each student's individual needs. Waterford is most effective when used regularly, and the expected use is 40 minutes a week or 2 to 3 lessons per week per content area.
All right, now we're going to share some about Waterford's use in mathematics. So in addition to the WACS assessment that they'll take for reading, students will also take a Waterford Math Placement Assessment. Based on their responses to the questions given, students are placed on their adaptive learning path. Much like the WACS, it will also be adaptive to ask questions that are more complex as students progress through that. Students, once placed on their adaptive learning path, students are engaged in learning by an assortment of instructional activities, including content-related songs and videos. Allowing your student to practice their math skills for at least 30 minutes each week will help build a strong foundation in numeracy skills. Let's look at Waterford Mentor.
So as a parent, you'll have access to Waterford Mentor. This is a website and companion mobile app for families whose students are using Waterford Reading Academy. It enables families to track your students' usage and progress data, receive messages each week, which highlight routines, practice ideas, and links to learning resources for your student. Families have access to free printable resources, learning tips, and educational activities in English and Spanish. Students are also able to complete reading and math and science sessions at home via Mentor accounts. In addition, any course usage minutes completed in Mentor combine with the school's weekly usage minutes. The course sessions cannot be completed on mobile devices, though. So for your student to access Waterford Mentor, you will receive a code from your child's teacher. So you can reach out for that code if you don't receive it. Here are examples of a few different resources that you'll have access to through Waterford Mentor. And we have the family fact sheet, the dashboard, what the dashboard will look like in Waterford Mentor. And then they have activities, a calendar each week with activities. So then we'll move into Redbird for math.
So Redbird is one of our newest digital companions for our McGraw-Hill Florida Reveal core curriculum in mathematics. So Redbird is an optional digital learning program for students in grades K through 5. It's designed to build a strong foundation and readiness for algebra through its pathways. As students interact on their adaptive learning path, Redbird provides instruction centered in deep conceptual understanding of mathematical concepts. Redbird is able to pinpoint any learning gaps and assign a precursor lesson to help remediate and close the gap that the student has shown, bringing all students closer to their grade level mastery. Again, this Redbird program is optional, and students would access this through the McGraw-Hill icon on the blended learning platform.
Okay, now we're going to go into CPALMS for grades K-5 science. CPALMS is a FLDOE website available to parents, students, and teachers. It provides an online toolbox of resources for students to work on during and after school hours. Here are some of those available resources. They have original tutorials, educational games, virtual manipulatives, presentation slideshows, video, audio, and animation. Oops, went too far. And when you're on this, you can go ahead and select science, go to the grade level, and it will prompt you to pick either the big idea category, or it will also pick your standard that you're trying to focus on for that student. So this is available for K through 5 in science.
And then we'll look at Amira. Amira is for grades 1 through 5, select students and select schools. Amira is an artificial intelligent reading tutor. Amira is referred to by the pronoun she. She listens to students read aloud on the computer based on the student's reading level and the words being read and the kind of error made or the type of error made, Amira provides guidance and correction or personalized tutoring. Amira selects from a toolkit of over 63 micro interventions to build the missing skills and to accelerate learning growth. If your child has access to Amira, time on Amira should be complete before using other online platforms for reading. The district guideline for usage is 30 minutes a week, which equates to 5 to 8 stories per week. Students must complete a story to continue on to the next lesson. This is for eligible students through October 17th and then select schools after that. Next, we have iReady for grades 1 and 2. iReady is an online program for reading and math that will help teachers determine your students' opportunity for growth, personalize their learning, and monitor progress throughout the year. iReady Diagnostic is an adaptive assessment that adjusts questions to suit your students' instructional priorities. It provides personalized instruction, providing students with lessons based on their individual skill level and opportunities for improvement so the student can learn at their pace. On each student dashboard, they have the option to complete lessons and quizzes within their personal instruction through My Path or teacher-assigned lessons. The teacher-assigned lessons have been identified as learning gaps or enrichment skills needed for your student.
So let's look what the dashboard looks like and how you can help your student get started with iReady. Remember, this is for students in grades 1 and 2 only. And on each dashboard, they have the option to complete either the adaptive lesson with the quizzes within their My Pathway, seen on the right in green, or the teacher-assigned lessons, which are usually referred to as the blue lessons with students. And these teacher-assigned lessons, as Amy clarified, have been identified as learning gaps or enrichment skills needed for your student by his or her teacher. At the bottom of the student dashboard, you'll see a progress navigation bar. This My Progress button that you see in the bottom highlighted will give parents and students an opportunity to see the time that's been on task, the number of minutes on personalized instruction this week, and that goes from Monday through Friday, as well as the number of lessons passed and the completed work. It'll give you the title and the quiz score for each lesson your student has taken. In addition, in mathematics, first and second graders have the option to practice with learning games. This tab will also be available in that bottom navigation bar. And second graders have the option to practice their basic math facts through an activity called Fluency Flight. So be sure to check these out for your first and second graders. So what are some ways as a parent that I can help support my student? Well, first of all, we want to make sure students are prepared when on any blended learning platform. So make sure they have what they need. Do they have a quiet workspace? Does their technology work? Do they need headphones? For mathematics, do they need some paper and pencil to help work out problems? Make sure you keep them motivated, show your support, ask them how they did on their quiz. After that, ask them what they learned about during each session and help track their progress through that navigation bar on their main dashboard. And finally, celebrate their progress. All learning is a step towards meeting mastery of their benchmarks, so make sure we're celebrating each and every one of our students.
For grades 3 to 5, we have a new blended learning platform called Lalilo. Lalilo is a supplemental foundational literacy practice and instructional program that provides individualized skills practice in foundational literacy skills for students who are learning to read. Students who are eligible for Lalilo will automatically place into the program at a level corresponding to their STAR score or aligned to their individual skill level. Lalilo's adaptive learning technology continuously uses the student's performance to choose the next exercises with the right level of support. When students are struggling, Lalilo offers scaffolded content. When students are quickly successful, Lalilo gives them more rigorous content within the same skill and accelerates their progression throughout the scope and sequence. Lalilo is built for foundational skills, and then we have Freckle ELA for independent readers. So Freckle is an online learning platform that allows students to practice math and English language arts at their own level. It continuously adapts to each student's individual skills, so each student is getting the appropriate challenge whether they're working at, above, or below grade level. Additionally, teachers may choose to assign work to their student. Any teacher-assigned lesson will appear in your student's dashboard. Freckle maintains 3 key domains: an engaging user experience, individualized high-quality content, and formative feedback for both the teacher and the student. Freckle has built-in supports if students are not successful during a lesson. Freckle supports students as they work with audio and visual hints that guide them through their practice and help them solve problems without giving up. In ELA, instruction includes over 1,000 fiction and nonfiction passages that adapt to each student's level.
And in math, students will advance and practice skills in 7 different domains: operations and algebraic thinking, measurement and data, base 10, geometry, fractions, counting and cardinality, and number systems. They will experience 3 types of differentiated instruction: adaptive skills practice, targeted practice, and math fact practice.
When students begin each activity domain, they take a pre-test that places them on a scope and sequence at their skill level, or students are placed in the program based on compatible benchmark test or teacher assignment. Each Freckle product offers components of differentiated instruction and adaptive learning. In reading, ELA meets the need of every student. It continuously adapts for student practice and activities. Provides engagement rewards for achievement to recognize growth. The benefits of it are increased students' growth and proficiency through benchmark-based skill development. There are 3 domains in Freckle reading: skills practice, targeted practice, and word study. Focus skills is an additional practice tile that students self-select that spans all domains in ELA and helps students reach grade level proficiency more quickly by focusing on just those critical skills identified as focus skills in the learning progression. Freckle combines each student's practice data with their star reading score to get a complete picture of the skills they have mastered. Then Freckle prompts students to practice the first, most foundational, focus skills that they aren't yet proficient in. Through Freckle reading, students have access to over 400 ELA articles, each available in multiple reading levels, and a library that contains informational articles and fictional stories at each student's reading level.
Next, we're going to focus on McGraw-Hill Online for specifically grade 5 science. So McGraw-Hill was actually the textbook that was adopted for K-5 elementary science. All students in K-5 are equipped with the actual consumable textbook in the classroom, but when we're focusing on the specific online resources, your 5th grade students will have the ability to get online and utilize the resources. Now, McGraw-Hill is aligned to the next generation standards as well as most of our Florida science standards. Students will be able to access this through their blended learning folder. Now, if they cannot access it from their blended learning folder at home because they don't have their computer at home, they'll go through, again, in the beginning, Ms. Blank spoke on going through the student software and choosing the McGraw-Hill icon. And we'll remind you of this at the end. But they'll have access to their actual student ebook. So it's just like their textbook that they would have in the classroom, but it'll be online. And again, this is only for grade 5 students. They'll also have access to digital lessons where they can do interactive activities based on the different standards or things that are assigned to them by their teachers. They also have access to online assessments that again will be assigned by their teachers if they choose to. It will grade it for their students and it will alert the student once it is graded. And then of course they have those consumable textbooks that they can bring back. They also have different vocabulary and word wall activities that they can utilize on the online platform. And just as a reminder, if you're looking, grades K-4 do not have the online, but they do have the books, and they're welcome to bring that home because it is a consumable resource for them. Next, going into Study Island for grades 3-5 science. This is an online platform, and again, it's just available for those 3-5 students. It provides students with lessons, games, practice questions, flashcards, and more. Students can access this during and after school hours. It's going to help with the students' prior knowledge and remediation of science content your students may need support with. The district requires 30 minutes a week for each one of the students. But some of the available resources that they can access, whether it be during school or after, are science content, text lessons, SSA style question practice, flashcards, printable worksheets. Oops, let me go back. Sorry about that. And game mode. So this is something that they can utilize, like I said, at home, but they're usually utilizing it at school. But it is really nice to have this to benefit your students for any upcoming standards to get some of that prior knowledge. And parents, this also helps you to get a little bit of prior knowledge on the content that your students are going to be tested on or they're going to be working on during that week. Okay, and just wrapping up the closing of our online resources for math, ELA, and science for K-5. So just to recap, benefits of blended learning. We allow the students to visualize and represent concepts. It helps students to make the connection from the conceptual to the abstract part of learning. It's going to support coherency of concepts across the grade levels. And we're just going to give you a quick reminder of where these are located.
So for ELA, we have Waterford Reading Academy for kindergarten. We have iReady Reading for grades 1 and 2. We have Freckle for grades 3, 4, and 5. who are reading. Then we have Lalilo for grades 3, 4, and 5, our students who are learning to read. And Amira for students in grades 1 through 5 as a tutoring platform.
All right. In mathematics, your kindergartner has access to the Waterford Reading Academy, which will also give them math and science instruction. For first and second grades, we have iReady platform. Grades 3, 4, and 5 have access to Freckle Math. And our optional blended learning platform, which is McGraw-Hill's Redbird, is available for all K through 5 students.
For science, we have Study Island available for grades 3 through 5, McGraw-Hill available for 5th grade, and then CPalms. It's going to be available for K through 5 students. All of these can be single sign-on for your students.
If you have any other questions, we want to provide you all with our contact information if any questions should arise. Of course, your first line of contact, please reach out to your child's teacher with any specific questions you may have about their progress within the platforms. But here is also our information, so you can reach out to us if you need to as well. We want to thank you all. We appreciate your time this afternoon.